You won't believe what happened when a black CEO walked into his own five-star hotel, disguised as a regular man, and was denied a room. What happened just 9 minutes later left the entire staff speechless. Stay till the end, because this story will make you rethink how you treat people, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you believe respect has no price tag. It was a chilly evening in downtown Chicago. The sky was painted in deep gray as rain began to drizzle over the glowing skyline. A tall, middle-aged man in a simple gray hoodie and worn-out jeans walked toward one of the city's most luxurious hotels, the Royal Crest, known for its elegance and its diverse workforce. No one would have guessed that the man walking through those golden revolving doors was Mr. Elijah Carter, the billionaire CEO and founder of the entire hotel chain. He had decided to visit one of his branches unannounced, dressed as an ordinary traveler. He wanted to see how his staff truly treated guests when no cameras or name tags reminded them who was boss. Elijah approached the reception desk, his suitcase rolling behind him, water dripping from his jacket. The lobby sparkled with chandeliers, guests sipping champagne, and smooth jazz floating through the air. But the warmth of the place ended the moment the receptionist saw him. "Good evening," Elijah said kindly, giving a small smile. "I'd like a room for the night, please." The young woman behind the counter, Clara, didn't even look up from her computer. Her expression hardened the moment she saw his clothes and his dark skin. "Sir, I'm afraid we're fully booked," she said flatly, glancing past him toward another guest in a suit. Elijah frowned slightly. "Fully booked? But your website says you have several rooms available." Clara sighed impatiently. "Sir, I just told you, we're full. Perhaps try somewhere more in your price range." Her voice carried a faint sneer, one that made a nearby couple turn and glance in pity. Before Elijah could respond, another employee, a young bellboy named Marcus, hurried over. "Ma'am, I think we do have a vacancy on." Clara cut him off sharply. "Marcus, I said we're full. Please handle the luggage for real guests." Elijah's expression remained calm, though his eyes grew colder. "It's all right," he said quietly. "But could I at least use the restroom before I go?" She hesitated, then sighed. "Staff restrooms downstairs. Guests only on this floor." At that, Elijah nodded slowly. "Thank you for your honesty," he said softly. Then he turned and walked toward the elevator, but instead of heading downstairs, he took the lift to the executive floor. Within minutes, the entire management team received a call from headquarters. A special guest had arrived. Confused and nervous, the general manager, Mr. Harlan, rushed to the elevator to greet whoever it was. When the doors opened, he froze. There stood Elijah Carter, but this time, his hood was down, his posture commanding, his presence unmistakable. "Elijah Carter," Harlan stammered. "Sir, we didn't know you were visiting today." Elijah's voice was calm but carried authority that silenced the lobby. "Apparently, your staff didn't know how to treat anyone visiting today." Every eye in the lobby turned toward him as he walked back to the front desk. Clara's face drained of color when she saw him standing there, flanked by her boss and several managers. Elijah placed both hands on the counter. "Miss Clara," he began evenly, "you told me you were fully booked. That there was no room available for someone like me. Do you stand by that?" Her voice trembled. "Yes, sir, I didn't realize who you were." "That's the problem," Elijah interrupted. "You shouldn't have to realize who someone is to treat them with respect." The lobby had gone silent, all attention fixed on him. Even the soft music had faded into the background. "I started this hotel," Elijah continued, "to give opportunities, to build a place where everyone, from guests to janitors, is treated with dignity. But today, I saw what happens when kindness becomes selective." He turned to the general manager. "Harlan, gather the entire staff in the conference room. Now." 9 minutes later, every employee stood in tense silence as Elijah addressed them. Clara kept her eyes down, trembling. Marcus, the bellboy, stood quietly in the back. Elijah began, "A hotel can have chandeliers, marble floors, and golden doors, but without compassion, it's worth nothing. I came here today to see how you treat people, not titles. And what I found," he paused, letting the weight of his words hang, "is unacceptable." He then turned toward Clara and a few others who had followed her example earlier that day. "Effective immediately, you're relieved of your duties." Discrimination, arrogance, and disrespect have no place under my name." A gasp went through the room. Clara broke into tears. "Sir, please. I didn't mean to." But Elijah simply shook his head. "You didn't need to mean it. You needed to know better." He looked around the room. "But there's one person who did show heart." He pointed to Marcus. "This young man tried to help when no one else would. Marcus, from today, you're being promoted to front desk manager. Let this be a lesson. Kindness will always open doors arrogance tries to close." Marcus's eyes widened, tears filling them as the room erupted in soft applause. Elijah smiled faintly and added, "Every one of you should remember, you never know who's walking through your doors. It could be a billionaire, or a man just looking for a place to rest. Treat them the same, because the way you treat others defines who you are." The next day, news of the incident spread across social media. The story of the black CEO in disguise, who exposed discrimination at his own hotel went viral. Thousands praised Elijah for his humility and justice. But to him, it wasn't about going viral, it was about changing hearts. As he stood by the window of his penthouse later that night, Elijah looked down at the bright city below. "Maybe now," he said softly to himself, "they'll understand that respect isn't earned by power, it's given by humanity." He took a deep breath and smiled. And that's the kind of empire I'll keep building. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life stories that remind us, true wealth isn't in money, it's in how we treat people. Heart.